All right, this is a fun one. Before I jump into this little text message scam, I wanted to show this. This is the Federal Trade Commission. This is consumer advisory, talking about some of the sweepstakes and fake prizes, things like that. I'm going to put a link to this in the notes. It's a pretty good read if you're not familiar with kind of how these scams work. It's worth looking over. Note two, I'm pretty bold if you haven't figured that out yet. So I give my information out pretty freely. I watch it. I also know that a lot of our information is already out there. Use caution if you're following my example here. And then again, of course, anything I say can't be taken as legal advice. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't give legal advice. All right, so this is an interesting one. This is particularly nefarious of these guys. So this is a text message I received. You might have received some of these guys before as well. And then I've done a video recording of me following the text message and seeing what these scammers do. See, what they did here is they tried to imply that I won something. I've seen a lot of these too that actually outright say you won something. So let's go ahead and follow this. You see I click on the link. It takes through a stream of addresses you can see down there at the bar. I've seen this library streams light a lot before. My guess is it's a company owned by somewhere off overseas. They're pretending to be using Samsung's logo. They're saying I won this TV, and I'm just clicking through on the survey. Then it's going to take me through a series of other links, and I'm going to pause this real quick. It took me to this popularboxitem.com. There's a series of websites owned by the same company and group of people. There's huge scams, popularboxitems.com, BigBangPrizes, things like that. I've run into so many of these websites. They always start out with this fake advertisement, fake survey. We're not talking about just spammers here. We're talking about just these guys are just trash. They try and remain anonymous. They try and act like you won something, and then they ask you to pay. And so we go through here. It's like, hey, congratulations, you won. You need to claim this TV, blah, blah, blah. Here you can see I'm actually going down, trying to figure out who this is. They did ABC Corp. I think that's actually just a plug. I haven't actually gone and looked that up. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's do New York, because they said they're in New York. New York entity search. I doubt it's going to come up with anything. ABC Corp. Corporations, limited liabilities. ABC Corp. Inactive. ABC Corporate Awards. Very interesting. I wouldn't have expected that to come. Let's click and see what this says. Might want to remember that name. Corporate awards. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the same thing. My guess is that ABC Corp in the video is some kind of holder. One thing to note is this support at BigBangPrizes. Seen BigBangPrizes, they're again the same thing. They fake these that you won something, then all of a sudden it acts like you're supposed to be a part of a prize, and then it charges you money. So that's this scam. I'm hoping the FTC finds these guys. If not, we're going to continue to track them down. So go here, looking through some of the terms and conditions. Sometimes the companies will be named here. One of the things I see is they sometimes name a sponsor. So they've had like Patriot Sweepstakes LLC has been one of the sponsors that comes up a lot. But generally, you can see a lot of this support, a lot of these phone numbers. They're just dead ends. They never, if they even get you connected, well, hold on. Let's look at this real quick. Look at that agreement performance laws of. It said California. I caught that. State of law of California. So let's just go and do this while we're here. Let's go. This is what you always do. We try and find the place that they're registered, the state that they're registered, and then go and try and search the Secretary of State website. Business file online. This is search ABC Corp. Yeah. Probably not even a real company name. I really think that's just going to be a placeholder. ABC Corp. Suspended, terminated. You can see the status right there. Sometimes you see that. Peabody Pizza. Yeah. Okay. Just checking. So we go back up here. You can see I'm just following, trying to find some evidence of who these guys are, taking some little screenshots. Not going to find it. So you go up here. I'm going to enter my information because I'm just going to give it to them. This is the way you track them. This is the way I've got to track them down. Somebody recommended this to me, by the way, and I'm doing. You see what I did there is Graham G, and so I'm making it alphabetical. So the next one I'll do Graham, A B C D F G H, and it lets me kind of track back to where they got my information from. And then here it says, oh, final steps, you got to pay. So I'm going to stop it right there. I went ahead and paid. So this was supposed to be some popular box items or Big Bang Corp. I paid because I need to figure out who they are. And so let's pull up. My credit card was charged. And that's what it came through as. Kohler's Jetted Site. Now, usually it's some completely bogus name that I can't find. But in this case, I saw this charge come through. And see what I'm doing here is I'm documenting as I go. So Kohler's Jetted Site has nothing to do with what winning a Samsung's TV. But that is the moment I entered my information there, that's what came up. So I'm just going to go and try Kohler Jetted. You can see I already looked it up. Kohler's Jetted Site. This looks like a super sketchy website already. So I've run into a lot of things like this. So what they'll do is they'll put up this kind of like website like this, and then they'll use really unethical marketing. And the idea is I just signed up, I just paid the shipping fee for that Samsung TV they said I won. But what they're going to do is then they're going to continue to charge my credit card every month for like $200, trying to say that, oh, he subscribed to this thing. And then they're going to point to their website, which clearly no one's going to visit this website and buy this crap here. But one of the things that's helpful is, so we go to the website. We've now connected this to the scam text. And when we look through here, they have actually listed their company name. They don't always do that. And what's important to note when we're tying this back, not only is the Kohler Jetted Site, not only is that part of the charge, but you'll notice that on the charge they have a phone number, 888-497-6834. And here you go, 888-497-6834. Which I can tell you what, right now, if we call these guys, you can tell we're going to get this generic customer support. We'll just call them now. They're complete trash. What it is it's some outsourced company over in like the Philippines. It's like calls themselves customer service, and they won't give you any information. Oh, I can't even make the call. I won't be surprised if I can't. Oh yeah, I can't even make the call. So it's not even real customer service at this point. But we've got a company name here. So this says it's based out of New York. That's almost certainly a one of those what's called a digital mailbox, like fake mailbox. It's like a UPS or something, and that's going to be their mailbox number. So basically, they can still hide their identity without linking it to some physical property. Let's go. So we're in New York. They said they were in New York. Let's see if they actually use this name. Corporations. Again, Secretary of State website. Search in the database. And we actually get something here. Notice that it's filed recently. So it's February 22nd, 22. A lot of these guys are fly-by-night companies. But this particular scam is going to require continual subscriptions. So I would expect to see this company stick around for a little bit longer. It's probably worth suing them. Click in here. It gives me a lot of their information. One of the things New York doesn't give you is the officers. They haven't put their officers' names here. This registered agent, I'm going to talk real quick about that. Service and process. Yeah, but this is good because this is all the information I need to tie it back to an entity and take them to court or send a demand letter. Sometimes I would send a demand letter. In this case, it's just 100% fraud. It's a marketing scam. There's nothing even remotely ethical about these guys. I'm not even going to bother sending them a demand letter. They're going straight to court. So it's giving me all their information here. Unfortunately, it doesn't give me their. Well, let's look through some of these tabs. Articles of organization. I'm not able to. Looks like there's nothing I can do to open that. If I could probably see some of their corporate officers, which is interesting because then you probably tie it back to other fly-by-night companies and whatnot. What I'm actually going to do though is I'm going to sue this company, and in the lawsuit I'm going to have two parties named. I'm going to name this Colored Jetted Horizons LLC, but then I'm going to also name the owners. Even if I don't know the name, it's going to say Colored Jetted Horizons LLC, and then it's going to have a second defendant, and that's going to be owners, managers of Colored Jetted Horizons LLC, because this isn't just conducting business and making a mistake. This is 100% fraud scam. I'm going to argue that it pierces the corporate umbrella, particularly because all that they did was didn't use their actual company name. At no point until the credit card charge. There was this BigBangPrizes, there was these other names, but none of their corporate names. So I want to point this out because I've gotten a lot of questions about these. Registered agents and service of process name and address. So when a company starts to do business in a state, they've got to go register generally with the Secretary of State. And part of the information they need to provide is a named contact for receiving legal documents. It's generally considered it's called the registered agent. And almost every state requires this, that you have a location of somebody or some company that you can receive legal papers in that state. And it's really common for, if it's a small companies, for just the owner to put their name and address. And that just means if you ever sue that company, you send those legal papers. They have filed with the state. They publicly told everyone, hey, this is where we receive legal papers. It's their registered agent. Really common for owners of small companies to just list their name and home address. The other thing which is really common is what you see here, Inc. Corp Services. We actually use this for our businesses as well. They're great. What this is they've got little offices set up all over the United States and an address that you can send it to. So you pay them about $100 a month, and if you don't have a physical presence in that state, but you still have to register in that state, you pay them $100, and they act as your registered agent. So when I file a lawsuit, I'm going to actually list these guys as the person to send that certification to. So in the lawsuit, you have to notify the company they're being sued, and this is the person that you notify. The other thing that gets me really excited about this particular case is, remember in the video we saw that one of the companies behind this scam, and so there's multiple companies behind the scam, right? There's this company that we're looking at, right, that we're going to go sue, and then there's this ABC Corp, who also seems to be tied to support BigBangPrizes. So these guys have been difficult to track down, but now we've got a transaction tied to them, and we have got a company tied to them. So if this company actually responds when I sue them, one of the things we're going to ask the court for is a discovery request, which is a request. It's a legal request to produce documents or answer questions. And so we're going to send them a discovery request that says, tell us who your marketing partner is. Identify for us who is BigBangPrizes. Who is the company that initiated this transaction. And the transaction was initiated. There's already a digital record of it. We know that because we've got this credit card charger. And merchant servicers, so the people who actually charge the credit card that you have to sign up for to be able to charge credit cards, they're going to have this. They're going to have this documented. And so it's going to be a great electronic trail to be able to not only track these guys down for this sham site, but then also go after BigBangPrizes. And I'm telling you, I've gotten dozens, if not 100 plus, of these kind of scam texts. So I'm looking forward to actually being able to dive into this and get some more information. I kind of tracked them down a little bit, and I think I know who they are. But this is actually going to help me really lock that into place. And one of the interesting parts about this too is they're operating under this premise that they're going to have this corporate veil of Big Bang Prizes. But so much of what they've done has been illegal. It's been fraudulent. They haven't used an actual company name, and so you can't do that. You can't create a company name, do a whole lot of stuff anonymously, and then say, "Oh, it was the company. It wasn't us individually." And so we're going to be able to track down some of these individuals who are behind these scams, hopefully. So we've got this. We've got a few lawsuits that are already lined up. So I may end up getting this one filed this weekend. If you haven't figured this out yet, a lot of times this stuff moves a little slowly. So if we file this weekend, we'll pay for the service on get the court serviced on Monday. It'll be get to them probably sometime next week, depending. It's in New York, so I'm not sure. And then we'll see if they even answer. We're probably talking about 2 or 3 weeks before we figure anything else about this. And then I've got a few other interesting ones I'm excited to share. More along the lines of this kind of nefarious activity where it's not just harassment, it's not just annoying, but they're actually going in different versions of fraud to steal people's money. So we've tracked some of them down, and I'm actually really excited to share some of those when I make time. All right, thanks, guys. I think I'm supposed to tell you to click like and subscribe. So feel free to do that, and feel free to have some comments. I'm trying to check those. If you have any questions and want to reach out personally, my email is dang 75252 @gmail.com. Thanks for watching.